Is Africa the next global FPSO powerhouse? Offshore Growth explained, Africa is emerging as a major force in the global FPSO market, marking a shift in its energy landscape. Abundant offshore resources, infrastructure constraints, and evolving policy frameworks are driving the adoption of FPSOs, supporting both energy security and economic growth. As a result, operators are modernizing aging fleets while integrating sustainability and digitalization into operations. This transition reflects the increasing complexity of offshore development across the region. This challenge leads directly to the industry's outlook. While growth potential is strong, operators must navigate technical, financial, and regulatory pressures as FPSO deployment expands. The trajectory of FPSOs in Africa will be shaped by how effectively these opportunities and constraints are managed over the coming decade. Africa is experiencing a sharp rise in FPSO activity, with 43 projects already in operation and a further 14 in development. This expansion signals a significant shift in the continent's energy landscape, with strong potential to support economic growth, energy security, and technological progress. This momentum is driven by structural factors. Many of Africa's most promising oil and gas reserves are located offshore, particularly in deepwater regions of countries such as Nigeria, Angola, Ghana, and Mozambique. In these environments, fixed platforms and pipelines are often costly and technically complex, making FPSOs a practical and flexible alternative. This challenge leads directly to infrastructure constraints. In regions where onshore facilities remain underdeveloped, FPSOs provide an integrated solution by handling production, storage, and offloading at sea. This allows operators to accelerate development and export without relying on extensive land-based infrastructure. Following this, economic advantages reinforce their adoption. FPSOs typically require lower upfront investment than permanent installations and offer scalability. Their ability to be redeployed once a field is depleted adds operational flexibility that fixed assets cannot match. At the same time, policy frameworks are shaping growth. Governments are using FPSO projects to stimulate local industries through content requirements, supporting job creation and technical capability development within the region. As a result, FPSOs are becoming central to Africa's role in global energy markets. They enable efficient offshore production while reducing exposure to onshore risks, positioning the continent as a reliable supplier in an evolving energy landscape. As FPSO activity expands across Africa, operators face a complex set of challenges that shape both strategy and execution. While deepwater reserves offer strong potential, the operating environment remains demanding and uneven. One of the primary issues is an aging FPSO fleet. Many units were built decades ago and now require significant upgrades to meet modern technical and environmental standards. Extending asset life involves improvements to hull integrity, topside systems, and mooring performance, increasing both cost and operational complexity. This challenge leads directly to environmental pressure. Operators are under increasing scrutiny to reduce emissions, limit flaring, and improve efficiency. These expectations, driven by international commitments and local regulations, are accelerating the adoption of cleaner technologies and more sustainable operating models. Infrastructure constraints add another layer of difficulty. In many regions, limited pipelines and onshore facilities require FPSOs to operate as fully self-contained production hubs, while also managing the logistics of remote offshore supply and workforce deployment. Following this, regulatory variation and local content requirements introduce further complexity. Policies designed to promote domestic participation support economic development, but require careful coordination and resource planning from operators. Operational reliability remains critical. Equipment failures or maintenance disruptions can directly impact production, pushing operators to adopt digital tools such as predictive maintenance and real-time monitoring to improve performance. At the same time, safety standards must remain uncompromised. Remote locations and harsh conditions demand strong safety cultures, supported by advanced systems that improve situational awareness and emergency response. These pressures are further intensified by the broader energy transition. Operators must sustain production while aligning with decarbonization goals, balancing immediate output with longer-term environmental commitments. As a result, the future of FPSO operations in Africa depends on managing these intersecting challenges. Success will be defined by the ability to modernize assets, improve efficiency, and integrate sustainability while maintaining reliable and safe offshore production. The outlook for FPSO operations in Africa over the next decade reflects a balance between expansion and increasing responsibility. Growth is expected to continue, driven by deepwater discoveries, infrastructure modernization, and rising economic and environmental pressures shaping offshore development. West Africa remains central to this trajectory, with countries such as Nigeria, Angola, and Ghana holding significant offshore potential. A strong project pipeline and continued investment point to sustained deployment, supported by both new field developments and upgrades of existing assets. This challenge leads directly to the need for modernization. Much of the current FPSO fleet is aging, requiring extensive upgrades to remain viable under stricter technical and environmental standards. Refurbishment efforts are becoming essential to maintain performance and extend operational life. At the same time, environmental expectations are reshaping design and operations. Emissions reduction, flaring control, and energy efficiency are now integral to FPSO development, with new technologies increasingly embedded as standard rather than optional features. Following this, policy and local participation are gaining importance. Local content requirements are driving greater involvement of domestic industries and workforces, positioning capacity building as a key factor in long-term sector development. Digitalization is also transforming operations. The adoption of advanced monitoring, analytics, and predictive systems is improving reliability and reducing downtime, supporting more efficient asset management in remote offshore environments. As a result, the role of FPSOs is evolving alongside global energy trends. While oil production remains central, there is a growing shift toward integrating lower carbon solutions and more sustainable practices. The next decade will define how effectively these changes are managed. Africa's FPSO sector is set to expand, but long-term success will depend on balancing growth with innovation, sustainability, and operational resilience. Africa's FPSO market is on a strong upward trajectory, supporting energy growth and broader economic development. As fleets are modernized and sustainable technologies adopted, offshore operations are becoming more complex and demanding. This challenge leads directly to the need for enhanced safety systems. Protecting personnel in remote environments requires real-time visibility and rapid response capabilities, particularly during critical events. As a result, advanced solutions such as e-mustering are gaining importance. By enabling real-time crew accountability and improving coordination, these systems strengthen emergency response and operational control. With digitalization accelerating, integrating such technologies is becoming essential. For FPSO operations in Africa, resilience depends not only on technical performance, but on the ability to safeguard personnel under increasingly challenging offshore conditions.